Oh,
Oh wow, if you don't know what this is, that might be a good thing, because this manga is the very personification of insanity. So, first off, cool cover. I like that there's these little slits with these characters in it. The colors look a little dull, but it's still good. Okay, now for the back. Hair-raising fun. In the year 300X, a cruel dictator mandated the hunting of all hair in the Maruhage Empire. But a single man rises to the occasion to take the stand against the violation of human hair rights. Bobobo, master of the Fist of the Nose hair, uses the prehensile hairs of his snarge to most lethal ends. Follow the nonsensical adventure of Bobobo and his non-sentient sidekick Snacks as they lead their hilarious rebellion against the Empire. If you've never heard of this manga, what do you think of that synopsis? First things first, I need to say that this version is actually volume 9 and 10. Because the anime had just came out, publishers weren't too sure if the overseas is could handle this lunacy. After the success, then the actual volumes were translated. This chunk of the story is a good place to start off. Let me say this is gag humor, so the story's not going to make sense. It is confusing who is who at first, because we're missing the character intros. If you don't know what gag manga is, it's like Japanese Looney Tunes. Stupid humor, LOL so random, pure chaos. These types of stories are great for escapism and for a great palate changer, or when you're feeling down and you need a laugh. Like we read, the plot is simple. Although this is gag, it is also an action fighting manga. Without the insane characters, this manga would be very boring. Fight bad guy, then someone stronger appears, then repeat. There are a lot of characters in the group so far in the story, but I will go over 4. Our main hero is Bobobo. He is a mystery in itself. He has little to no background story, but he is reliable, super cool, confident, goofy, and will do insane things to win a fight. He has a special fighting technique called Fist of the Nose hair. Joining him is his closest friend, Papa Rocks or Don Patch. He is a son, Spiky Ball. He is cocky, reliable, and the most insane character in the story, who uses friendly fire. Although Bobobo does the same thing, but not with mean intent like Don Patch. He can also get insecure about not being the main character, and when he's not with Bobobo. Next is Jelly Jiggler, a former enemy, who is a man of jelly. He is the butt of the joke, the most picked on, but he holds himself with high regards. He thinks he is the most handsome and sophisticated. He is usually the first to be left behind or sacrificed in a battle. This is gag humor, so in the next panels he just appears. Lastly is Beauty. She is the reasonable one and reacts for us. She explains things, kinda have an idea what's going on. She doesn't do anything more besides yelling in shock by the lunacy. And I do mean lunacy. This manga is absolutely insane, that even enemies are stunned by it. There's a battle with a robot that analyzes techniques to predict his enemy's next move, and he can't even predict this manga. The artist's imagination is absolutely wild. This manga is character driven. They're so unique and likable. You can't wait to see what they're going to do next. The most hilarious thing about them is that they're self-aware that they are in a manga. Beauty will mention and criticize the placement of captions, and will bring up what Bobobo said a few panels ago. She will also be looking at the script of the manga and judge it, and they will even judge the mangaka himself. They tell him to draw better. For the dialogue, it is nonsense. It's full of puns. Some of them are confusing because they are Japanese puns, and at times this version tries to translate those by ad-libbing what is happening in the scenes. The pacing is actually not chaotic. Wild stuff is happening, but I'm not confused. The fight scenes are not confusing, although they make no sense, but that's just how the characters are. I will say this, there are a lot of references to other anime, video games, so if you don't know, you might miss the joke. This manga is a parody to the manga Fist of the North Star. That's why his special technique is called Fist of the Nose hair. Now, with all this silliness aside, it's time for the big question. Is the art bad, or is it just a style? The art is simple, yet it is consistent. I believe the mangaka wants to draw this manga this way, because there are a few times where the characters or a certain object is different and really well drawn. This is a silly story with silly characters. It fits. I have to bring this up. There is a fusion of characters that is drawn in the bad art style. Like I said, the characters are self-aware. One last thing to point out, although it is all laugh and giggles, the manga is at least 16 plus. There is crude and vulgar humor, butt, poop, and panty jokes. Anytime a character is hit, even a smack, there is blood, but it's more like a character is spitting out a drink. So what's my rating? 5 being absolutely neutral, 10 being the best thing I've ever read. I give Bobobo a 10. I love stupid humor. I love the characters. Bobobo is just so cool. Will you take a chance with this crazed insanity? I will give you help to judge. Do you know the TV show Uncle Grandpa? If you can stomach that randomness, grab this.